Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Money Conversations with KJ. I'm your host, KJ, and my sidekick.
I'm Faith.
Awesome. So, today we're going to answer question of the day for the week. Okay, so let's get right into it. Question on Monday. I like this question. So, question on Monday was, what are your fears with money? Wow. I asked this question because this comes up on my podcast a lot, that people have fears, not money itself, but what money will do for you, right? Some people I like to call are self-saboteurs, right? They have fear of having too much money. Now that sounds funny because a lot of people don't have enough money. And so when I put this question out there, I was thinking, what are your fears? That maybe some people fear, I'm going to run out of money, right? We don't want to run out of money. Some people fear, can I handle, maybe you just had an opportunity, you're going to make a nice sizable amount of money, and you have a fear, oh my gosh, I've never had that kind of money. What am I going to do, right? Um, and you should be responsible. Don't go out and just go on some shopping spree or whatever. So there are fears with money, and we all deal with them in different ways, right? And so I just wanted to pose that question to see what your answers were coming in, and try to people read these comments and then they can learn from them. So I hope that was a good question. You got a lot out of it. Okay. All right. Let's move along to Tuesday's question of the day. I think that was yours, Faith.
Yes.
Okay. What do we get?
Would you rather spend money on experiences or things? Well, personally, if I'm answering this question, experiences. I would like to go travel the world and just make memories instead of things, materialistic things, not so much. Experiences for sure. What about you?
Well, it's a double-edged sword because we definitely want to experience things in life, right? We get to have the privilege of having a life on this planet and do the things we want. Now, when you say things, right, oftentimes we can spend our money on things that make us money, right?
Yes.
You could buy a home. A home is going to make you money over time, appreciation, right? That'll make you money. So that's good to spend on things. Now, and this kind of goes when we talk sometimes about debt, good debt, bad debt, right? But sometimes, let's say as a guy, right, when a young man who getting ready to propose and he's got to go buy this engagement ring, right? Those things aren't cheap, right? You're supposed to spend 3 months of your salary on a ring. Not that that always happens. We always do the best we can, but there's something that you spend money on that's an experience and a thing, right? Because you're going to go ask a young lady to get married, and you're only supposed to do that one time. So that's an experience. Can you think of another one that would be both?
Buying a house. Like when I bought my house, that was a whole exciting experience, but it's also like a thing that I bought.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. I think another one. These questions are all food for thought. To get you to recognize what you are or are not doing with your money. All right, cool. So let's move on to question of the day on a Wednesday. And Wednesday, the question of the day was, what's the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA? I get this one a lot because although they're very similar as far as their characteristics on what you can do, right? It's really on the way you fund them, the way you put money in those vehicles is two different ways. The traditional IRA will be funded typically by your employer, right? It'll come out of your check, they'll put it in for you, and that is tax deferred money. The earnings on that is tax deferred. The Roth IRA, on the other hand, is money that you have to put in that vehicle yourself, meaning after you cash your paycheck, it's your responsibility to go and put that money in that vehicle. But the great thing about the Roth IRA, no taxes. That Roth IRA can earn as much as it possibly can. There is no limit. And whatever it earns is tax-free money. This is why it's the best account. I highly recommend that account. Everybody should have one, right? Faith has one. I got her to get one early. Now they both have the same caveats as far as the rules and keeping them. You must be vested minimum 5 years if you want to take some money out, and the only money you can take out is the money you put in. Anything other than that will be penalized, except for the Roth. You won't be penalized. You just are down losing your money in there, unless you wait until after the age of 59 and a half. Then you can take any money you want out of there, and you'll be fine. If you're before the age 59 and a half, there's a penalty whether it's a Roth or a traditional. Typically 10%. Check with your custodian. Could fluctuate a little bit. Other than that, it's okay to have both. Some people go, can I have one or the other, or can I have both? You can definitely have both, right? If you're in a situation, because you can only fund so much money into these accounts. If you're before the age 50, it's $6,000. Over the age 50, $7,000. They call it kind of a catch-up provision. But let's say you have a job where you make pretty good money and you have excesses, and you're like, I just really want to fund these accounts more. Then have one of each, for sure. Go ahead. Just understanding one is tax deferred, one is tax free money at the end, after 59 and a half, when you're probably likely to want to go and access those dollars. So I hope you learned a little something on that one. Okay, let's move on to Thursday's question of the day. And that would be, if someone gave you $100,000, what would you do with it? $100,000. Is that a lot of money? What do you think, Faith?
In the sense of, like, if you want to buy a house, no.
No.
Or a new car, yeah, you could buy a new car with $100,000.
You could buy a heck of a nice car for $100,000.
Yeah.
What would you do with $100,000 if I gave you $100,000?
I'd probably use a big chunk to pay part of my mortgage, another big chunk to fully fund my Roth IRA for the year, and some other investments, open an index fund.
Would you use any of it? We just discussed on the other question. How much of it would you spend on fun?
Traveling, yes. I would travel somewhere.
Out of the 100,000, how much? 5%. I like that. You know, figuring that's a good rule of thumb when you get your paycheck or you come into whatever sum of money. Yeah, 5% is a good rule of thumb that you could go out there and just spend that money on whatever you want makes you happy. It could be trip, it could be clothing, jewelry. Hey, some people give to charities. Maybe you're like, you know what, I want to give. Let me give 5% of, my little windfall right here. So that's a pretty good answer. But most of your money sounds like you would put it to work. Mm-hmm. Paying off some debt and putting it to work. And I think that's a great answer, but Faith knows better. So she's a little biased. For a lot of you guys out there, hopefully you didn't say, I'm going to go out and buy me a brand new $100,000 car, because that's a depreciating asset that the minute you drive off the lot, you just lost money, right? That would be an opportunity to make money grow if you were in the position that someone put a windfall on you, which could be, listen, maybe someone in the family left some money to you in a will. Do something responsibly with it. That would be awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next question of the day, which I believe, Faith, you're up.
It's Friday, yes. So it is the fun question, which is true or false? Some cats can be allergic to people. As a cat lover, I just had to throw this question in as our fun question, and the answer is true. I actually didn't know this. I don't even really know how, I guess.
Well, how does a cat, if the cat is allergic to you, how do you know? Is the cat sneezing all day long?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe they break out in a rash or something like that.
Yeah, wow. So some people go out and get a cat, and then the cat's allergic to you. Probably just broke your little heart. Like, oh, I want this little kitty, and the kitty's allergic to me. Now I have to get rid of the kitty.
Yeah, instead of being allergic to them.
That's a cute little fun fact. Cats, because usually it's the other way around. A lot of people are allergic to cats.
Yeah.
But in this case, there are possibilities. There are cats out there that have allergies against humans, whatever your aura that you put out there. Awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that question of the day for the week. We enjoy doing them. We look forward to seeing you next week on Question of the Day. So if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit that subscription button, and ring that bell so you're notified when these come out. We are getting a lot more viewership, so that's awesome. All right, guys.
Wait, and with that being said, we have a webinar we are launching on Wednesday or Thursday. I can put the link in the description to the opt-in page. It is coming up very soon in the next couple days, so we would love for you to be there.
Yes.
That's live.
I don't know even how I let that slip, Faith. Good for you for reminding everybody. Yes, I will be doing next Wednesday and Thursday, a total of 3. You can see the ones that, maybe the timeline works best for you. Come on out. Going to be Money Conversations with KJ. Let's see what you can come out and learn. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you next week on Question of the Day.